I'm Katelyn Swindle Reilly, and I am a faculty member in engineering and ophthalmology at The Ohio State University. And today I'm presenting to you as the Chief Technology Officer of VitraNew. VitraNew is a preclinical stage ocular therapeutics company. We have an exclusive license of ocular drug delivery technologies from Ohio State. We're trying to improve therapeutic outcomes of patients by reducing the number of injections they get into the eye and increasing the duration of effect. We have developed a first-in-class TURC, which is short for tunable extended-release capsule, capable of delivering bioactive therapeutics to the back of the eye through an intravitreal injection. We have a strong global IP portfolio with patent applications in the US and worldwide with IP protection through 2040. We successfully completed our seed round earlier this year, getting $2.2 million in convertible notes. We're excited to have closed the seed round with Rev1 Ventures, based in Columbus, Ohio, as our lead. And we also have several key partners, including Sophia Pharmaceuticals and Jobs Ohio. We have a board with tremendous experience in pharmaceuticals and medical devices, including top ophthalmic companies Alcon and Allergan. Our CEO, Gordon Bethwaite, has decades of experience in the eye care industry, with a recent successful exit with Pure Film Innovations being acquired by Alcon. Our Chief Medical Officer and co-inventor, Dr. Matthew Orr, is a vitreoretinal surgeon at Ohio State. He runs clinical trials for new treatments for retinal diseases, especially for macular degeneration. We also have a strong leadership and advisory team, including key opinion leaders with affiliations from Cleveland Clinic, Houston Methodist, University of Southern California, Tufts, and Massachusetts General Hospital. Our board is led by Robin Sears, who has 30 years of experience with Allergan, Abbott Labs, and even another ophthalmic startup that's currently in clinical trials. Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, is a burden on patients, caregivers, clinicians, and payers, including Medicare. Up to 30% of the population will have AMD by age 75. And the number of patients is expected to double in 20 years. The most common treatment for advanced wet AMD to prevent permanent vision loss, like you see here on the right side of the screen, is intravitreal injection of anti-VEGF anywhere from every 4 to 6 weeks for the rest of the patient's lifetime. Over 500,000 of these injections are being performed each month in the US alone. Due to this high burden of treatment, patients continue to lose their vision unnecessarily. Perfect compliance with a monthly anti-VEGF injection for every patient is nearly impossible to deliver. Therefore, sustained delivery to reduce these injections is the greatest unmet need. By reducing injections from 12 to 7 per year, EYLEA has made over $8 billion in sales, making it one of the most successful biotech launches ever. A recently approved product, Vabysmo from Roche Genentech, just launched, giving 2 extra weeks between injections. With a $12 billion market growing at 8% CAGR, imagine the great potential VitraNew has by reducing injections to only 2 times per year. This unmet need is our solution. We have data demonstrating sustained release of anti-VEGF therapeutic Avastin for over 9 months. By varying the design of the inner and the outer layers of our capsule, we can slow the drug elution, minimize burst release, and, as you can see on the bottom line for design number 4, achieve near zero order or constant release rate. In addition to tuning the release rate, our delivery system can also be tuned for different therapeutic payloads. We have designed this TURC to be injectable in office like several other current treatments. We're injecting this tiny device that is biodegradable so there will be no need for invasive surgical implantation or removal that could result in more complications. This device also retains the therapeutic bioactivity because we can load the therapeutic in the center of a hollow capsule after all the materials processing is done. A key distinguishing feature of this technology is the tunability of the release system, which is important because for treatment of wet AMD, there are currently 3 anti-VEGF therapeutics being used. And there are also many other emerging treatments coming up on the market. A preclinical tolerability study was recently completed by a CRO with positive preliminary results. Efficacy and PK studies will be commencing in the next couple of months. And the benefit of Vitrenews' approach is prolonged durability with tunable sustained release of a bioactive therapeutic payload. Ocular Therapeutics and EyePoint have sustained release platforms that are currently FDA approved, but these are for different ocular indications and different therapeutics. Neither company is exploring sustained delivery of anti-VEGF. Ocular Therapeutics is currently developing an injectable release platform for tyrosine kinase inhibitors, or TKI. EyePoint is also evaluating their Durasert implant, currently FDA approved for corticosteroid delivery. They're looking at it to also deliver TKI. However, TKIs will likely have approval challenges as a new drug. Genentech recently received FDA approval for Susimo, a port delivery system that now allows 6 months between refills. However, this requires invasive surgical implantation in the operating room of a permanent device. Surgical implantation has increased risk of complications, and the long-term safety of implantation of a permanent port with exposure on the outside of the eye remains unknown. Let me orient you on our timeline to expected FDA approval in 2027. Preclinical studies are ongoing with an anticipated pre-IND meeting at the end of Q1 2023. At this time, we will initiate Series A fundraising or license to a strategic partner. Our first-in-man studies are expected at the end of 2024, with associated Series B fundraising as appropriate. Efficacy studies are expected to run through 2026, with FDA approval anticipated in 2027. We have strategically targeted wet AMD as the first indication for initial market entry due to the biggest patient need. From a life cycle management perspective, we plan to pursue delivery of anti-VEGF for other posterior segment diseases, including retinal vein occlusion, diabetic retinopathy, and diabetic macular edema. We're also exploring opportunities in other disease states, including geographic atrophy, the earlier stage of AMD, which currently has no treatment. To summarize, wet AMD treatment is a gigantic and growing market. The #1 need to extend treatment durability and reduce injection frequency to ensure these patients don't unnecessarily lose their vision. Vitrenews has addressed this unmet need with a tunable injectable device with potential for best-in-class ophthalmic extended release. We are strategically partnering with pharmaceutical companies to deliver FDA-approved therapeutics with a clear path to approval. Bringing our technology to the clinic can help millions of patients preserve their vision. Thank you for your attention, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Great, thank you for that, Dr. Swindle Reilly. Jeff, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So 2 questions. One, obviously the eye is an immunoprivileged part of the body. Do you have animal data or other data to make sure that that's not something you have to worry about? And I have a follow-up, a completely independent follow-up question, but I figure you know that one offhand.
Yes, so we did actually, so we just finalized our first preclinical studies. We did a 3-month tolerability study in a rabbit model, and that's the standard ophthalmic model for PK and evaluation. And we evaluated several different formulations of this capsule. So as I mentioned, it's tunable. And One of the ways we can tune it is by using different polymers with different degradation profiles. So we've saw very promising results, but the report literally just came back to us from the CRO, so I didn't put anything in the slide deck.
Okay, great to hear.
Question?
I was sure you had done that. You're focusing on the diseases, which I agree with you. Those are the ones that are going to bring in money, you know, macular degeneration. However, there are some orphan diseases, particularly some diseases in kids, which are now treated with gene therapy. I don't have a lot of knowledge in that. I think they require just a couple of injections, not as many in the gene therapy models, but I don't really know that. Have you looked into things like RPE 65 mutations? I think UCLA Children's Hospital is doing some stuff on that. And so just to branch out in other directions.
Yeah, so gene therapy is showing a lot of promise with some of the retinal diseases. It's not currently really being investigated in this space. So I see this more as a delivery for therapeutics because it's not necessarily needed for long-term delivery of a vehicle for gene therapy.
Gladys?
Thank you. Nice presentation. As you think of the platform as it evolves for drug delivery, particularly the fact that it's tunable, completely understand the focus in the ophthalmology market, but is there future consideration for sub-Q for other therapeutics?
Right, so Vitrinu itself has licensed it for ophthalmic consideration. But yes, from a research perspective in my lab at Ohio State, we have been exploring this technology for treatments of other diseases outside the eye.
Okay, no, very interesting, because that's exactly where I was going with some of these other things. And I think to Jeff's point, maybe some of these safety studies will also help inform those future applications as well. So thank you.